here. All right. Well, thank you all for hanging in there. I know an hour and a half is a long time for anyone to sit, including our students. So I'm going to try to go through this fairly quickly. But my professional development in 2019, I actually attended 2 different conferences. One was the Ohio Business Educators Association annual conference, which is actually secondary and post-secondary business education teachers, as well as the Teaching Professor Conference. I know many of you have attended that. It's a wonderful conference, very large conference that focuses on a lot of the strategies and effective teaching methods. So at both of these conferences, I attended sessions that related to improving virtual communications. Now, obviously, I'm not going to or don't have enough time to talk about all the types of communications that we know we are having, but you know, obviously, in this year, we've had an increase in email, Blackboard Collaborate, WebEx, Zoom, holding our office hours in this way, group meetings, classroom sessions, and I feel like this is a really great opportunity for us as instructors in business fields to teach by example. And by teaching by example, we can certainly help prepare our students for success in a business environment because they are expected to communicate well and present themselves in a professional manner. And with so much communication via email, I think as instructors, we need to be the ones that are helping to establish the guidelines and the practice for students. So for me, this isn't so far from what I normally do because I've taught business language for many years, and crafting emails and letters and reports is something that I've had a lot of training on, but I always feel that there are ways to improve on that. I don't know why my culture is going. Okay. So with communication, you've all heard about the C's of effective communication, and they certainly apply with email just as they do in other forms of communication. So the ones that we focus on are courteous, always remaining courteous, using manners, a friendly tone, concise, getting right to the point. I mean, I'll be honest, I've received emails from colleagues as well as students that are what I would consider rambling at times, maybe do not focus on just one topic, and I'm sure I'm guilty of doing that at times too. But, you know, we definitely want to make sure it's concise and remember that there really should be one goal of the email. Clear, using clear language, coherent, avoiding text messaging, which I don't think as faculty members we do that, but definitely complete thoughts, complete sentences, ensuring that the message that we're sending is complete, that all necessary parts to meet our goal are included. And then correct would be that correct grammar and punctuation. This is essential for whichever program that you teach in, that students in our area, when they graduate, are able to come to work with those skills. So I just have a few email best practices that I think are good for us to remember as faculty members. The first one is to personalize your emails. I know it's very easy to send out mass emails to reach all students, but when possible, you know, I really do try to personalize my emails, ask students how they're doing. A lot of times from what we've done in the beginning of the course, I know where they work, I know what some of their challenges are, what some of their successes are, and I try to include that to really make them feel that I care more about just how they're doing in the class. I care about them as people. But certainly always remembering to maintain professionalism and a positive tone. It's important to remember that we're representing ourselves, our program, our department, our college, and that we are role models for these students. Starting off, including that clear, concise subject line, I included an email that I sent to students from Blackboard. This is the subject line that comes up. And so you have to remember that it is a great way to email students through Blackboard, but remember that in the subject line, this is what they're seeing. So you don't want to add too much in your subject line, and you want to teach them that as well, that when they are trying to send an email, there's a purpose to sending that email, and it's important to include that in the subject line as clearly and concisely as possible. Focusing on brevity. Again, long emails don't often get to the point early. Most of our students are checking their email. I do this as well on my phone, and I might miss some of what is sent if it's too long. Effectively using bullet points. And then if you do need to send information that cannot be presented in a brief manner in the body of your email, go ahead and let them know there's an attachment and include that. And of course, don't forget to include it. We all have the times that we forget that too. Again, remain focused on the goal of the email. Avoid extra words that aren't needed. Do not leave room for misinterpretation. And then also provide a clear call to action. In business, we learn that this is so important, that when you are sending a correspondence, you need to make it very clear to the person what it is you're hoping to achieve from the email and what kind of response you would like from that person. So definitely demonstrate that in your emails and share that importance with your students, that should be included. Always have a sincere and appropriate closing. Certainly in the times that we are experiencing right now, I pretty much sign all of mine I have been lately, take care, or please keep in touch. You know, anything that shows that you are certainly reaching out to the student. Please proofread well. We want to model that for our students, and some of us need reminders sometimes of how we should be creating the sentences, how we should be using the punctuation, grammar, and so forth, but we want to encourage them to reach beyond the text message language that they're used to using. Again, do not reply when angry. It's very easy to do. I think when someone sends you an email, student or anyone else, and you feel that maybe they are challenging you, or they're maybe misinterpreting what you sent, if you're not feeling positive about a response and your goal in your mind is not a positive outcome, do not send that email just yet. And that's a great message for our students so that they know to do the same. Always reply in a timely manner. I think this is so important for students. You know, I know that they're in most programs, it's reply within 48 hours, and just make sure you are replying to students in a timely manner. Personally, I feel that I do my best to try to respond to a student as quickly as possible, whatever day of the week it is, because I know that they have challenges as to when they can do their assignments. So I really want to try to get back with them as soon as possible so that they're able to complete the work during that time period when they have the availability to do so. Some of you probably already do this, but certainly consider posting emails as announcements and vice versa as well, so you can get to those students that may check Blackboard more often than email. And then always remember that maybe in person, and I mean maybe it's a virtual meeting or phone, is going to be a better option for you to speak to a student. Remember that in Cougar Web, you actually can get a student's phone number. Those are listed in the class rosters, and maybe that's going to be a better way to reach out to the students. And then again, a great lesson for students that sometimes email is not going to be the best way to correspond and to get the results that you want in the business world. So we all know that under our orientation start here, we have these guidelines for netiquette that students can use. I highly encourage you to also include email guidelines and examples to your students. I know that what I'm going over today, you've all heard before, and I think for everybody, it's always good to get reminders about what you should use to effectively teach students to prepare for success in a business environment, but sometimes we just need some of those reminders. So YouTube has great videos, of course. You don't have to recreate it, create it from scratch. Purdue OWL is an excellent resource, but just reminding them, be appropriate, respectful, polite, clear, plan your emails, professional, using proper grammar and punctuation, and you yourself are providing a lot of those examples just by the correspondence that you use. And then finally, I just wanted to finish with this quote: effective communication requires more than an exchange of information. When done right, communication fosters understanding, strengthens relationships, improves teamwork, and builds trust. And I'd like to hope that I'm able to do that with my students, not only through email, but through the other types of communication that we have. And that is all I have.